Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the draw for the 66th Eurovision Song Contest 2021.
Today we are all gathered here at the Palais des Nations in Geneva to find out who will perform in which semi-final and who will vote in which semi-final.
43 countries will take part in the event, of which 6 will immediately perform in the grand final.
The remaining 37 countries will be divided into 2 semi-finals.
These are the Big Five countries: Germany, France, Italy, Spain and the United Kingdom, as well as the host this year, Switzerland.
19 countries will compete in the first semi-final on May 11, 2021.
It is also worth noting that today we will find out not only the number of the semi-final in which the countries will perform, but also half of this semi-final.
The remaining 18 countries will compete in the second semi-final on May 13, 2021. As usual, the top 10 performances from each semi-final will advance to the grand final, where they will join the already mentioned 6 countries that will automatically advance to the final.
Each of the 37 countries was previously divided into 6 groups. Each round is one semi-final. The next round is another semi-final. First, we find out the semi-final, then the country and finally the half in which this country will perform.
I think everything is very clear and our viewers can easily understand how the draw will be held.
Yes. I think so too. Maybe let's start.
Yes, of course.
But I think we should introduce ourselves. My name is Stephanie Kummer.
And my name is Manuel Grissom.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official draw for the Eurovision Song Contest 2021 begins.
The first opening remarks are given to a representative of the host city government. Hello, Geneva City Councillor Elon Ruffner. Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Geneva. It is a beautiful city in the southeast of Switzerland. On behalf of the government of Geneva, I want to thank the organizers of the competition for giving our city such an opportunity to host the Eurovision Song Contest 2021. This is the 3rd time our country is hosting the competition, but the previous 2 competitions were held in other cities. Thus, the city of Geneva is hosting such an event for the first time. I promise that from our side we will do our best to hold the competition at the highest level. We fully trust the European Broadcasting Union, the management of the Sur TV company and all the people responsible for the event. Today is a big day for our city. Today we have gathered with you for the first time here in Geneva to start preparing for the competition itself. Today's draw is not a separate event, it is like the first part of the competition itself. Our wonderful presenters, including those who will participate in the competition itself, are all the same countries that we will see in May, see their performances, vote, of course, and find out the winner. But first it is necessary to carry out preparatory work, and today is just one of those days when we are carrying out this very preparatory work. We are meeting with you here at the Palais des Nations in Geneva and assigning countries to the semi-finals. Some countries will participate in the semi-finals. And 6 countries will find out where they will vote. But one way or another, this is one of the final stages of preparing the part of the competition visible to us. Of course, there is really a lot of work ahead and it will take a lot of effort for different people to achieve a higher result in the spring. A lot of work remains behind the scenes. You and I often do not even think about what the people working with Motion Design, working on the organization, working on the scene are doing. This is a huge number of people, real professionals, who do work that is closed from the eyes of people. Often, even while watching the competition itself, viewers do not think about how this scene was built, who invented its design, who developed it, who built it. A lot of such work really remains to be done, but the drawing of lots is one of the final episodes of the work open to people. Along with the confirmation of the participation of countries, with the presentation of numbers and performers who will perform, with the announcement of the host city. I am very pleased, as a person who was born in Geneva, as a person who has lived all his life in Geneva and as a person working today for the benefit of Geneva, that such a major event will be held in my city. I want to say thank you. Thanks to my country. Thanks to the European Broadcasting Union and of course I want to say welcome. Welcome to Geneva.
Many thanks to Monsieur Ruffner. Now we can start drawing lots.
To begin with, we must distribute the big 5 countries, as well as the host country, in 2 semi-finals in which they will vote. Let's start.
Recall that the big 5 countries are France, Germany, Italy, Spain and the United Kingdom. This year's host is Switzerland. The first country is Italy.
Okay, and where should this country go to vote?
We'll find out now.
Italy will vote in the first semi-final.
Great, let's move on. The next country is Germany.
And Germany will vote in the first semi-final as well. It is worth noting that both Italy and Germany also voted in the first semi-final last year.
Yes, you are right.
Which country is next?
Let's watch. The next country is Spain.
And Spain will vote in the second semi-final.
Half of the countries have already been distributed and we still have intrigue.
Yes, we are moving on.
The United Kingdom becomes the fourth country.
Okay, and the United Kingdom will vote in the first semi-final.
Thus, we already know who will vote in the first semi-final and it is now clear that the 2 remaining countries will vote in the second semi-final.
Yes, this is true, but we still need to bring the draw to the end.
Of course, we continue. The next country is France.
And let's make sure France votes in the second semi-final. Yes, France will indeed vote in the second semi-final.
And the last country.
I wonder what country could be there.
Oh, be more responsible. This is the official drawing of the Eurovision Song Contest. So, let's confirm the last country. And this is indeed last year's winner, Switzerland.
Well, now let's confirm the semi-final, in which last year's winner will vote. Oh, and indeed Switzerland will vote in the second semi-final.
Manuel, what an irony.
No, nothing, everything is fine.
Okay, then let's move on to the main part of the draw.
Yes, very soon we will find out which country will perform in which semi-finals and even in which half of these semi-finals.
Okay, let's get started.
First, let's tell our viewers the basic rules of the draw.
Yes. The drawing procedure is as follows. The entire draw can be conditionally divided into several rounds. We change the semi-finals every round.
The first round is the first semi-final, the second round is the second semi-final, the third round is the first semi-final again, and so on.
During each round we will find out in which half of the semi-finals each country will perform.
Begin.
So, the first country for today.
Who is it?
A very exciting moment, and the first country today is Serbia.
Let's find out where Serbia will perform. Serbia, you will perform in the first half of the first semi-final.
We are moving on. The next country is Denmark.
Denmark, you will also perform in the first half of the first semi-final.
Okay, next country is Turkey.
Oh, Turkey, the country is returning to the competition after 8 years. So, where will the country perform? Turkey will perform in the first half of the first semi-final.
Will we have countries in the second half of the first semi-final today?
Of course.
Okay, the fourth country today is Romania.
Romania, you will perform, really, yes, in the second half of the first semi-final.
At last. So the next country is Cyprus. Cyprus has never won Eurovision before.
Yes, like Romania.
Exactly.
Cyprus will perform in the second half of the first semi-final.
Let's continue. The last country in this round is Portugal.
Yeah. And Portugal will perform in the first half of the first semi-final.
We move on to the next round and, accordingly, to the second semi-final.
Yes.
The first country to advance to the second semi-final is North Macedonia.
And North Macedonia will perform in the second half of the second semi-final.
Great, the next country will be Sweden will be.
Alright.
Yes, everything is fine.
Okay, then Sweden will perform in the second half of the second semi-final. Who is next?
We'll find out now. Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan, you will perform in the first half of the second semi-final.
The next country is Ukraine.
Last year, Ukraine was represented by an unusual indie folk group Goe.
Yes, you're right, it was really a very unusual performance. I wonder what Ukraine will surprise us with this year.
We'll find out soon. In the meantime, let's find out in which half the country will perform. So, Ukraine will perform in the first half of the second semi-final.
San Marino.
San Marino, you will perform in the second half of the second semi-final. We only have one country left this round, right?
Yes, absolutely. And the Netherlands becomes this country. Following Duncan Lawrence's victory with the song Arcade at the 2019 Eurovision Song Contest in Tel Aviv, the Netherlands hosted the competition last year.
Yes, this is true. Last year, the Netherlands played right in the final, but now they will have to fight for this right in the semi-finals. We already know for sure that they will perform in the second semi-final, which, by the way, will take place on Thursday, May 13, 2021. And there the Netherlands will perform in the second half.
And we move on to the third round and return to the first semi-final. And we go back to the first pot. The next country is Albania.
Albania was the first to present its song this year. Albania will perform in the second half of the second semi-final.
The next country is Finland.
Finland left a big mark on Eurovision history after Lordi won in 2006. Finland will perform in the second half of the first semi-final this year.
Next comes Belarus.
Belarus will perform in the second half of the first semi-final.
The next country is Poland. Poland hosted the Junior Eurovision Song Contest last year.
Just like the year before.
Exactly.
And Poland will perform in the first half of the first semi-final.
Okay, let's move on. Bulgaria.
Bulgaria will perform in the first half of the first semi-final.
The last country in this round. And it will be Ireland.
Ireland has won the Eurovision Song Contest most times. As many as 7 times. But the last victory was almost 25 years ago. Ireland will perform in the second half of the first semi-final this year.
We return to the beginning. And we pass to the second semi-final. The next country to go to the second semi-final is Croatia.
And Croatia will perform in the second half of the second semi-final.
The next country is Norway.
Norway, you also go to the second half of the second semi-final.
Third pot. Only Armenia, Georgia and Russia remained here. Who is going to the second semi-final? Georgia.
Georgia will perform in the first half of the second semi-final.
We are moving on. Latvia.
Latvia will perform in the second half of the second semi-final.
This is good for the country. Congratulations to Latvia. The next country is Greece.
Greece, you go to the second half of the second semi-final.
Only one place remained in the second half of the second semi-final. Australia, Belgium and the Czech Republic can take this place. This place will be performed in the next rounds. So Czech Republic.
The Czech Republic has never won the Eurovision Song Contest. And this year the Czech Republic will perform in the first half of the second semi-final.
We return to the first semi-final. And the first country in this round is Slovenia.
Slovenia. The country has also never won the Eurovision Song Contest. Slovenia will perform in the first half of the first semi-final.
We have 2 countries left in each pot. Estonia and Iceland remained in the second pot. And it is already clear that one of these countries will perform in the first semi-final, and the other in the second semi-final. Iceland will perform in the first semi-final.
Iceland goes to the second half of the first semi-final.
The next country is Russia.
Russia will perform in the second half of the first semi-final.
Let's move on. The next country is Lithuania.
Lithuania took second place last year. They were as close to victory as never before. What will happen this year? Will they be able to repeat and maybe improve their last year's result? This year Lithuania will perform in the second half of the first semi-final.
Israel.
Israel will perform in the first half of the first semi-final.
The last country of this round. Australia or Belgium? So. Australia.
Australia is the most recent debut at the Eurovision Song Contest. And Australia always makes it to the final every year. This is the only country that has never failed in the semi-finals.
No, Ukraine also always qualifies for the grand final.
Yes. Of course. I just wanted to check on you.
That's exactly what I understood.
We are distracted. Australia will perform in the first half of the first semi-final.
So, we are back to the second semi-final. Montenegro.
Montenegro missed 1 year and is returning to the competition. The country will perform in the second half of the second semi-final.
The intrigue disappears, there is one country left in each pot. The last place in the second half of the second semi-final is also taken. Thus, Estonia, Armenia, Moldova, Malta, Belgium will perform in the first half of the second semi-final. Austria will play in the second half of the first semi-final. But we still have to complete our draw to be sure of this. So Estonia.
Estonia will perform in the first half of the second semi-final.
Moving on, the next country is really Armenia.
And Armenia will also perform in the first half of the second semi-final.
Moldova.
Moldova will perform in the first half of the second semi-final.
The next country should be Malta. That's right, Malta.
Malta is due to perform in the first half of the second semi-final. And so it is.
The last country to reach the second semi-final is Belgium.
And Belgium takes the last ticket to the first half of the second semi-final.
And the last country for today is Austria.
Austria makes it to the second half of the first semi-final.
That's all. Our draw has come to an end.
Let's take another look at the draw results.
Now it's time to say goodbye. But not for long. We will meet with you again in May.
Recall that the first semi-final will take place on May 11, 2021. Second semi-final on May 13, 2021.
Traditionally, the grand final will take place on Saturday 15 May.
See you in the spring.
Good luck.